myself with the nasal strips. You know, like the sticky ones to try to open your airways last night, and I'm just now seeing that that would be the only explanation. It's so funny. I put them on, and I'll wake up, and they're not on anymore. And I'm like, that's weird. I don't remember taking that off, so I must just rip them off in my sleep. But I just wanted to get back to the basics and try some new sounds that I came up with, like this spray bottle trigger with no spray bottle, so that you can just hear the plastic sounds. And this came from one of my favorite, or my favorite kitchen countertop cleaner. Such a weird thing to say as a 29-year-old man, but maybe that's just what happens when you get old. You have a favorite kitchen countertop cleaner. Did I ever think I would be here? No. I look like I got in a fight. You should see the other guy. Since I'm the ice truck killer and Joe Goldberg, but also I'm Batman. By the way, if I ever go live again and someone asks me what my favorite movie is, and I for some reason say Infinity War or Endgame, my favorite movie has always been, my entire life since I've seen it, The Dark Knight series, okay? So refer back to this video that I'm letting you know my brain is a mess when I go live. My favorite movie is and will always be The Dark Knight. Whether it's The Dark Knight Rises, Batman Begins, I just broke it. What's the other one? There's the one with Ra's al Ghul. There's the one with Bane. And then there's the one with Batman Begins, Dark Knight Rises. I can't remember. That bag of rings that we all enjoy so much. I wanted to get back to the kind of fast and aggressive, loud ASMR. Alright, so here's a new one that I just came up with today, right before this video. Almost dropped it already. It's these little wheels, these little wheels for the bottom of my plastic dressers, because I have dressers, and yes, they are plastic. Dude, dressers are so freaking It's not. So I kind of overhyped it immediately. When I was a little kid, we used to have this gray leather couch, and I mean gray, like it looked like if you spilled gray paint on concrete, it was just ugly. I'm trying to think of how gray it really was. It was really gray. Okay, I don't know how to explain that to you. There was no color shifting, there was no texture. It was gloss leather gray, and it was probably not even leather, it was probably vinyl. And I really like this. Let me know if you guys want to see that again. And when I was a kid, I used to dream about that being my first couch. That's pretty much the whole story, but yeah, I used to dream about that being my first couch. But I didn't move out. I moved into the barracks overseas, so obviously that's not going to be my first couch. My sister actually fully moved out before I did. I'm trying to remember the timeline. I'm trying to remember the timeline. I moved out and I moved to California after my mom passed, and it was still my dad, my brother, my sister in the old house. And then they sold the house. My sister moved out into an apartment with a friend, and my dad and my brother moved to a different state. My dad took a new job. That's what it was. I don't know, I thought this might be kind of cool. It's a paint roller. It smells like cheese. That's like really, it was touching my chest, so it was like transferring the bass into my eardrum. But yeah, I used to want my first couch to be that gray leather trashy couch that was broken in the middle. And then my dad gave it to my sister because they didn't want to move with it. It was like 50 years old. It wasn't 50, it was like as old as I am now. But then my sister's best friend dated a guy that was on meth. This is totally not indicative of what my sister's like at all, by the way. In fact, she had a falling out with that friend pretty soon after. He broke into the apartment, stole the couch, and then sold it for meth. And then my sister was like, "See ya. I'm out of here when the it just where it peaks. Doing wheelie or burnout. Actually, it's kind of decent bearings for a dresser wheel. We'll do this one more time in case somebody out there likes it. Man, after I get my surgery, I'm gonna go buy so much paint and just I'm gonna be doing work, you guys. I gotta paint my whole room. I gotta paint the spare room. I gotta paint the other bathroom. I gotta paint my roommate's room. It's really not that much because we already did the kitchen, the hallway, and the living room. Actually got paint everywhere, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep going because I think people enjoy the longer videos, obviously. I'm gonna look at something really quick. Multitasking. I was gonna say something, but it wasn't gonna make any sense. Oh, let me, you guys, I know my last video kind of sucked, I'm sorry. I know some of you guys liked it, but I thought it sucked. Just being real. I was like, I don't really have all the energy to kind of like figure out what I really want to do. So I'm just gonna sit in the shed and like just talk about stuff, and that's okay. Sometimes I just need I need a little breather, and but I don't want to take like a full break. Know what I mean? Like I don't want to take a day off. But I kind of need to just like I just kind of need to have poison ivy on my left elbow. Apparently, what was I gonna do? What the heck was I gonna do? What was I about to do? I don't know. It doesn't matter. I really like that sound. Oh, the reason I did this was because Patrick ASMR has like the pump. Like he has this part. I don't want to take that out because it's covered in lotion, but I was going to take this out and like get all the lotion out of it and then do it. But then I was like, that's kind of like stealing. I don't want to just take his thing. I'm going to like later once that's empty, but I don't want to do it right now. So I did this. inspired me to do this, so shouts out to Patrick ASMR. Cheer my jaw. If I don't open my mouth far enough for a long time, that's what happens. Anyways. There's a paint stick. Alright, we're done. You're not gonna notice that because I smoked the table. You're not gonna hear it, but I smoked the table. Unless it wasn't that loud, I'm gonna leave it in. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in the next one, and as